Whoa. It's been a while. Again. Welcome back to Let's Play Oddworld Munch's Oddysee. Today, we're gonna play in Flub Fuels? Fuel Fields? I don't even remember anymore. This level is a very interesting level because it introduces a lot of new things in the game at once. And by new things, I mean one new game mechanic and two new characters that Abe and Munch can interact with.
Hey, Munch! Lulu's fortune is growing. Now it's time for a big score. Find a way inside Magog Motors and siphon the CEO's moolah into the Lulu fund. You're on your way.
Alright, Magog Motors. First big place we have to take down. That's not one of the new things. This right here is, that vending machine, is a Sobe vending machine. Product placement. Sobe energy drinks. And what this does is, it can refill your health all the way, full birds. And I don't know what I was doing here, I'm switching back to Munch, but then I'd say, hey, you should properly demonstrate how the Sobe energy drink works. So if you, I don't know, get hurt, like jumping in the water, now you don't have as many birds. If you just drink some Sobe, you'll be nice and fine. And I mean, I don't know why Sobe, but it's actually, I'll have a confession. Sobe in this game is what got me to drink Sobe in real life, and now I love it. I blame Munch's Oddysee for my Sobe addiction to a point. I miss Adrenaline Rush, that was so good. And here's these new Slig enemies. These are armored Sligs. And as you may expect, they are stronger and have more resistance against your attack than regular Sligs. And they're going to be a lot more commonplace now. There are going to be some levels in the future where it's going to be a bunch of normal unarmored Sligs and armored Sligs, but for now we're going to have to deal with these dudes. I don't really like how they look, personally, but, well, they're efficient, and possessing them, not really much different. Unfortunately, the way they're introduced is kind of annoying, because as Munch, the beginning of this level, we have to keep going back here and drink from the Zap Vendo, which has a similarly low, I don't know, time for effect. And you have to keep going back and forth, trying to get to an armored Slig as fast as you can, and hopefully get him into the water for maximum killing efficiency. Because you really don't have much time with the Zap. There's those dudes over there, up there, like 3 of them at once that you have to take care of. You might remember that I said way back in the beginning that Munch can maybe take 3 enemies at once if you're really good. Well, surrounded by water, it's not that much big of a deal, but armored Sligs, they're really fast attackers. Bouncers, they got the bats, and they're, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but they just feel a lot faster when they're attacking them. Can't get them from the water. That's one of the best things you can do when choosing the game with Munch, is to attack Sligs or any other enemy from the water, because they can't get you unless they have a gun. Still took care of them once, and I was surprised I was able actually to get them all in time. Usually I have to kill only like one and then go back past this bridge, be back here later, and have Munch go all the way here, even though he doesn't need to be. Like always, we're done with Munch now. Also, I made Munch burp, so everyone else would laugh at him. So here's the fun part, platforming. You may notice that there is a lot of spoofs in this level already. I mean, even in the beginning of the level, you start off with like 30 spoofs to start off with. And there's a good reason for that. Very good reason. Not just possessions in this here level. No. A lot of upgrading. You get what I mean. And I'm so terrible with the jumping. Abe is just so erratic, and now I just noticed that little field of spoofs over there. Only Munch can get there, and I don't know why they have Munch have specific spoof spots, because they're pretty much pointless with him. No, I mean, they are pointless now that I think about it. Out there in the very low render distance, or view distance, you see Magog Motors. We're going to be going in there, but it's very heavily guarded. We want to take care of all the heavy resistance. Spoos. I don't know why I throw these tomahawkers, or do I? Yeah, I do. I throw these tomahawkers over to get you. You really don't need to. As a matter of fact, another confession to make. I've played through this game a lot, but I never really figured out how to do this level the right way until this very recording. I mean, it's kind of odd to explain, but I mean, just look ahead of this. Look at this huge. Come on, camera. Look at that huge path of mines. How are you supposed to get through that? I have pondered this for a long time, and I never really knew how to until this very recording, and I feel really dumb not figuring it out before. I think this is where I get my moment of revelation, actually. I just stand there and I'm like, wait a minute. That's what you do. So these dudes, you gotta throw them in the middle. Just be careful when you're aiming, because you don't want them to fall on there. Pretty lucky he didn't die. Keep him there. And on the other side there are powder kegs. Those are going to be useful later. Till then, I could show you how the armored slig works when possessing him. Spoilers, it's not much different than a regular slig. I like how the sligs actually look at the possession herb as it passes by. It's like they know it's there, but they don't want to acknowledge it. I know it's just like some weird programming quirk or whatever, but I like having my theories. It's fun. See the possession orb and they're like, oh man, I hope that doesn't get me. Maybe it's how the sligs know when they're possessed, because they see the little possession lights around them. Those are my crazy theories. So as you can see, armored slig right here. Armored sligs can also drink from Sobe machines and recover health, which is very, very useful. Especially useful in this case because I do some really dumb things when possessing this guy. I mean, oh boy. I actually make good use of him, but I do a lot of things I shouldn't have done, like aggravating all of these sligs at once. I have at least 4 armored sligs on my tail here now. Luckily, I'm not the only one with a gun. They're just too dumb to use them. Gotta be really careful. It's only 3 of them against me now, but it's a really exciting fight. Let me tell you. I only have 5 mines left for health. And pretty sure this is the only slig I can easily possess that has a gun at this point, because I killed off all the other ones. And the other ones that do have a gun have possession orbs around them. That's the possession orbs around them that kill your possession orbs. So yeah. I'm amazed they actually let sligs drink. I'm not really sure how it works, especially for armored sligs, but they have an animation for it. It's pretty nifty. If we go down here, there's some dudes that I do not want to show off yet. You saw a glimpse of him, but don't worry, I'll get to them soon enough. They're pretty awesome dudes. Until then, get rid of more of these 2 guys. An interesting thing when fighting sligs on ledges. When you shoot them off a ledge, they seem to forget that they're fighting you. So it's like they'll still shoot at you when they're on the platform, but once they get off the platform, like they just completely forget you're aggressive. It's odd. And here's something really cool, I think. I got this guy pissed off a bit, and he called up his buddies, at least I like to think he did, and they line up across the bridge, and I can't really say I recall any other sligs doing this. They like go into some sort of formation, and it's really cool, and I wish other enemies did that more often in this game, because it really feels like you're kind of like doing some sort of intense firefight here, even if it is just me moving side to side while holding onto the right thumbstick for like 10 minutes. And there we go. Those guys are taken care of. Look at all of this ammo. I'm not sure why sligs need all that ammo, but they got it. And finally, these are the last 2 guys we can take care of as just armored sligs. All the other dudes we need to use chance circles to open gates and stuff. These guys are stubborn. So stubborn. I'm not sure why they cut this out. They cut other stuff out, but not this. Because you just gotta see all these exciting firefights. It really is a lot better than just slap fights, because you know, you become more efficient at them. It does tire out your thumbs a bit after a while, but such is life in early Xbox games with the port control schemes. I can't even imagine how this wasn't a huge controller, which I did do when I was younger. I don't know why everyone had such a big problem with the big controller, Xbox controllers, actually. I never found them an issue. When I played this game when it first came out, like, a while ago, when it was 2001, I was pretty young. I was still in elementary school, I think. Probably make someone feel old by saying that. So here is a thing. It turns a tomahawker into something else. It advances tomahawkers now. What could you possibly improve from a caffeine-crazed Mudakin with a giant club?
Hey, what's happening?
I'll tell you what it is. A caffeine-crazed Mudakin with a spruce bow. This is the Mudarcher. Mudarchers are the highest in the native Mudakin hierarchy that you can have follow you, and they got these spruce bows. And spruce bows are pretty much nature's assault rifles. And they are deadly. I mean, I would put them, in terms of danger to other enemies, more dangerous than the guns armored sligs use. And that's pretty good. And when you have an army of these dudes following you, which we will, like, right now on this level, you become quite a formidable force. Of course, I need to have all the Tomahawkers turn into Mudarchers, and this is how you get the Tomahawkers here out of the minefield. I don't know why this took me so long to figure out, and why I only just now figured out how to do it, but at least I know how to now. So you just gotta, it's a race against time, because the mines respawn. For some reason, they grow back like plants, and yada yada yada. And you gotta throw them over here. And this is where I realized, oh, well, I don't know why I threw these guys over here either. Munch is just chilling there. Who needs Munch? He's just along for the ride. And number 2. This is kind of tricky. My biggest complaint about this minefield is that the jumps are really far apart. And it's hard to accurately judge the distance between jumps. Like here, I'm like, whoa, looked like I couldn't make that, but I did. It's really lucky. And I had to jump off like the very edge. This is ridiculous. So many explosions. Alright, so all the Tomahawkers across. I used to think it had to be the other way around, that you had to get the Mudarchers, or the Tomahawkers, run across the minefield the other way, and I don't know what possessed me to think that. Instead, you have to do this. Which is great, exciting fun. And that's why I'm not showing it to you. With jump cuts, because throwing Mudokons over ledges is just so great. Why did they not program them to jump over ledges to follow Abe? I'll never know. If I didn't want them to follow me, I could just tell them to wait. It's that simple. I mean, come on. Also, I have nearly 200 spoos. Can you imagine that? That's why they give you so much spoos. It's to upgrade all these Mudokons. And in case a Tomahawk or Mudarcher dies, you'd have to upgrade them all the way back to Mudarcher from native. And that, the reviving him takes 10 spoos. Tomahawker, it's a good 30 spoos to revive a native and turn him into a Mudarcher. And with these many Mudokons, and if you're bad at the game, that could be an issue. So here's our army now. And soon enough, you'll be able to see how efficient they are in just shooting the crap out of sligs. Until then, they give you a really, really awkward chance circle positioning here. I mean, there's a bunch of armored sligs behind that gate, and they're all in like flat plains. They have a good, view of you. And granted, we do have the high ground, but a good number of the Mudarchers are just going to be like not going to be able to see the armored sligs because they're too far away. And to get the Mood Archers, you'd have to get into Slig's point of view. It's pretty annoying. It's also why I try to make up a distraction by possessing, I think? Not too sure. Move back a little just to be safe. Getting shot while possessing someone, or getting hurt at all, just automatically depossesses you, so... And that guy was just about to kill me, or attack me right before he got possessed, so I got lucky. And that blue stuff you see coming out from my side, that's the spoof build doing its work. And as you can see, it's, well, hopefully you can see it, because it's like just a blue static straight line, but it shoots really fast. You can see it a lot better from Abe's point of view when we depossess. Until now, I'm just kind of softening up the forces a bit. Yeah, you can see how this is really awkward, because you have to make yourself really vulnerable for the Mood Archers for a bit. But here you go, Mood Archers shooting the hell out of all the armored Sligs. And they're brutal. I mean, these guys are insane. There's not much more I could say about it. It's kind of dumb, though. Look at this. Look at that. You don't want to mess with these guys. Fortunately, that's the end of the level. Pretty long level, I would say, compared to what we've been through so far, but long level's not really the norm. Next time we're going to be inside Magog Motors and have you another new enemy introduce us, and one of my favorite enemies in the Oddworld series. It's really expressive. Here's Munch with a wheelchair. I never did talk about the wheelchair much, did I? Well, if you jump into the water with a wheelchair, then the wheelchair will fade away into video game non-existence. Because wheelchairs can't swim. Till then, everyone, I'm Metroixer, and I'll see you next time in Let's Play Oddworld, which is Oddysee.